I was just about to say, your hair looks really good. Have you done something different?
Yeah. I've sprayed, do you know that crazy colour, that spray? I've sprayed like a kind of like a golden colour through it, just for a bit of a change.
Oh, very snazzy. Looks good. I like the band.
It's not bad.
It's what?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what? It's growing so much at the moment that it's got like, if I wear it without the band, it's got no shape to it. So I've kind of had to try and sort of make a little styly out of with the headband. But there you go. I'm here.
Do you know what? My brother, his fiance, wife even, was due a baby on the 19th, and he had to pick something up from here today. So she's overdue. And he drove up here. It's like a 5-minute drive. And he said that there was people out chatting, gathering in the village, loads of people on the road, like loads of cars. I think people are
fed up. I think people need to see like a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's nothing at the moment. There's not even a date. Even if you had like, I don't know, the end of August, it's something to work towards, but there's just no date, no silver lining, and people are like getting pissed off with it, basically.
I know, but then you have to put it in perspective and think this is like 3, 4, 5 months out of your whole entire life. Hopefully we're never going to have to do this again. And I just think I think it's quite bad that people are like, not taking their health seriously, but do you know what I mean? Just like being really blasé about it. I don't understand.
I think it's money though. I think when people have got bills to pay, not everyone, imagine if you get cash in hand and you can't prove your income for the last 3 years and you're not going to get the 80%.
I know.
What do you do? So anyway.
You know what? It's you could talk about this for hours, because I feel like on the one hand, I just feel like I feel so cross at anyone that's carrying on as normal. But then, if you've got, a child or multiple children at home to feed, and you've got to keep a roof over their head, ultimately, you're going to go to work and earn the money to do that, aren't you?
Yeah, this is like a whole debate, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But this week's debate is...
Yes.
Is it ever okay to poo in front of your partner?
Yeah.
So we'll debate that one. It's that age-old question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good topic, actually, I think.
Right, so Tracy is our guest this week.
Yeah.
Tracy, I've known Tracy for years. She's a choreographer, and she's head of like a dance troupe called the It Girls, and they're amazing. They're really like old school glamour, proper feathers and diamonds and all the sort of razzmatazz. And she's been doing it for years, and she's been a really fantastic had success with it. And she's travelled the world, worked with some amazing clients, and she's just badass, I think. So yeah,
where does she live?
She actually lives where I live. She grew up in East Sussex. It's really weird because whenever she comes down to see her mum, she always calls me and says, "Dee, I'm in town."
Oh, nice.
And then she's got a son as... Oh, there she is. Hello.
Hey girls. Hi.
Oh, look at you.
You look gorgeous.
So do you girls. Oh, I love the blue. And I love your Buddha.
Oh, yeah. Oh. That's my mate. He's joining in.
Oh, I love a Buddha. Delanie, look at you.
Oh, no.
You're glowing.
Really?
Yeah.
I was just saying to Lily that I've had to put like blonde spray in my hair because I've got so much grey coming through.
Yeah.
I've had to kind of like work with it.
Yeah, I like it. It looks good.
Oh, thank you.
It really does. It really works.
I feel like a chipmunk at the moment because whenever when we've all got our spots when we put weight on, mine's on my face. I'm like feeling really like chipmunkified at the moment, but
No, you're lucky actually, because then you don't get wrinkles. Like, because I get crow's feet because I put on my weight on my thighs first.
Do you?
Yeah, I remember when I was pregnant, Delanie. Actually, I filled out in the face, and I thought, oh, got no wrinkles.
Brilliant.
A natural plumping.
Yeah.
Like collagen.
Exactly.
So I was telling Lily all about what you do, choreographer. You've been running the It Girl troupe for years. But we'll find out more about that. But what we usually do at the start of our guests coming on, we give them some quick fire questions just to ease them in.
Yeah.
And then to you, Lily.
Okay, so just as Delanie said, quick fire questions. So I'll go for it now. Loud or quiet?
Quiet.
Spontaneous or planned?
Spontaneous.
Risk taker or sensible?
Sensible. These are so hard.
Sorry. This one might be easier. Wine or beer?
Wine.
Yeah. I knew he was going to say that.
Summer or winter?
Oh, summer.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Quick or slow?
Quick.
Night owl or early bird?
Night owl. They're getting easier.
Dress up or dress down?
Dress up.
Sexy or cute?
Sexy.
That's it.
Yeah.
You. You're really tough at the beginning. I think I'm a bit like this split person, maybe.
It's making that decision as well, isn't it? Because it's not always like black and white, yes or no, or one or the other.
And it's if it's your professional career or you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Out of it. It's weird.
Yeah. It's how you interpret it.
Exactly. Actually, I'm going to start with the questions first, I think.
Yeah.
Just to find out about you.
Yeah.
So, can you tell, in your own words, what you do? What is your job title?
In a part of the It Girls, I'm creative director. So I'm founder, creative director, choreographer. Quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my title within my company of the It Girls. And outside of that, I get employed as a freelance choreographer. So choreographer / creative director is my title.
And how did you decide to become a choreographer? Was it something you've always wanted to do, or is it something that happened suddenly?
Yeah, it's great you asked that question, Delanie. It really made me think back and reminisce, because it wasn't a conscious decision. I was employed as a dancer, and it was the early 2000s, and the reality TV thing hadn't really kicked off then. So you didn't have reality stars doing fitness videos or anything like that, dance videos. And there was a few volumes of DVDs at the time, and even VHSs, that were called Wow, Let's Dance. And I was employed as a dancer to dance on these videos that taught you a simple dance routine to your favourite pop song. And they became really popular. And they needed a choreographer as the volumes went on. They needed a choreographer, and I felt comfortable enough with this particular production crew because I felt they were really kind and warm people, which is quite rare in our industry. And I felt comfortable enough to approach them and say, hey, could I choreograph this? And they very kindly, because looking back, I had no real professional experience as a choreographer, they let me do it. And I did it, and I think I did it well. And we continued doing lots more volumes, and I went on to QVC and I sold them and things like that. It was really good fun at the time.
QVC, didn't you?
Do you remember that, Delanie?
No.
No? Oh, it was...
I remember hearing it, but I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't ever watch it. But yeah.
So it was that really. So that was early 2000s, and then in 2004 I started the It Girls, and then I choreographed the It Girls, and I suppose I moved into that territory. It felt natural for me, and as a dancer it's so hard to audition all the time, and as a freelance choreographer that's still the case, but with the It Girls I felt I started it because I wanted a little bit more control on what we did. Yeah, so it was organic. It was an organic move.
Okay, and what influences you?
Yeah, so I think it is like a combination of people around me, what's on the catwalk, what's happening in music. I'm not really a Radio 1 kind of really up to date, down with the kids kind of girl, but popular music really influences me, what's on the radio and things like that. And it's a combination, like walking down the high street, looking in, Harrods, looking in Selfridges, looking in those big department store windows and seeing the colours and what's out there at the moment. And then all that merges together, and yeah, you get inspiration from that, I think.
Can you choreograph? It's one of those
choreograph.
Choreograph a dance without music.
Yes, I don't like to. a lot of choreographers can. Contemporary, I don't like to put brackets on people, but I know contemporary do a lot of choreography without the music. But the music is my map. I listen to it with music and I'm like, okay, I know where I'm at. It has a certain personality, so therefore it tells me what to do with the steps, because there's personality in the choreography. I don't like to choreograph without music. If I really had to, I would. But the timing, the personality, the two and two go together like salt and pepper.
Ah, of course. Yeah, I would say so as well. I would say so.
That's got to be your like inspiration and your like a lot of it, hasn't it? The music.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It starts feel a certain way, doesn't it? And then you start moving or singing or whatever, like expressing yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's right, Lily. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it starts with the music for sure.
Do you dance better when you're sad or when you're happy? You know, like when you've got someone that sings, when you've got a singer, sometimes they're better when they've had a heartbreak. Like, for example, Adele, I think she brought out her 21 album when she's going through a really bad heartbreak, and that's when she was at her best at writing.
Yeah.
Same choreography.
Yeah, it's funny. I think about that a lot with tragedy, because artists and tragedy seems to make you a better artist for some reason. If you can feel quite a lot of things, that all kind of comes together and explodes colourfully in what you do. But I think I have to be happy. I don't know. I have to be relaxed. I have to be in a zone. When Lily said night owl, morning person or something like that, definitely it's at night when things come to me. So yeah, I need to be relaxed and happy, and sometimes it's really good to have a drink because when I choreograph mainly for events, so people have had a drink themselves, so I'm thinking what they like to see, what music would they like to dance to. So if I have a drink myself,
you can
I'm
get
like, I
into
into
the
the mood. Yeah.
And what do you do on a day-to-day basis? What as sort of creative director of what you do, the It Girls, the Sparkle Like As You Like, what is it, Sparkle
Like you mean it.
Sparkle Like You Mean It, that's it. What is your day-to-day activity?
Well, at the moment it's a little bit of a halt, but I always make the effort to reach out to people in my business, to stay in contact with people. I think is really key, and to just to go and see them face to face, which obviously can't do at the moment, but this is just as good. Stay in contact with those people that can offer you work. But that sounds like I'm using them. I genuinely like the people I work with and that give me work, and I think that's really important. Relationships, keeping your relationships with your clients and your staff, and just be as organized as you can, because sometimes life just gets hit, something can just get thrown in your lap, and the less organized you are, you just can't deal with it. So I like to try and be as organized as possible, so once something does hit, which it is going to, it's life, I'm like, right, plan B, let's go. So and lists are great. They're normally pinned up on my wall with who's on what event and what costume.
You've got to be super organized, haven't you?
Yes, I'm not a huge company, so I do pull freelancers in, lovely people to work with me when I need them for jobs per job, but it's kind of just me really in a way. So I do juggle all the balls, and it can get stressful. But yeah, day-to-day life, staying in touch with people, making lists.
Yeah,
it's all in the prep.
In terms of the It Girls, because that's how I know. I mean, Sparkle Like You Mean It is a pretty new venture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
It Girls, which has been going for what? How many years now?
This year it'd be 16 years.
Wow.
I know.
Brilliant. It's brilliant that you're still doing it, Tracy.
I know it is, and I think after this little kind of lull we're having, I think I'm liking. Someone said, one of my dancers said to me, it might be like the 1920s after that bit of a depression and things after the First World War. It might be this like crazy celebration where we're just partying again. So and people
appreciative as well, right?
Yeah. I think everyone's going to be celebrating and like embracing being able to go and do stuff and parties and seeing people, events. I think it's going to be massive. Like maybe not straight away because there'll be loads of restrictions and stuff in place, won't there? But I think eventually, I think it's going to be, yeah, massive.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, like Delanie was saying too, it's appreciation for life.
Yeah,
and
Gratitude, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like, moving on to the It Girls.
Yeah.
With the It Girls, I mean, you've travelled to so many amazing countries. I mean, you're always away, aren't you? You know, when we're out of this whole situation, you're travelling here, there, and everywhere. What's been your favourite job and a favourite destination?
It's so funny, isn't it? Because the memory just remembers the good bits. You have to remind yourself. Sometimes there's always a little bit of stress with jobs. The one that really stands out was going to a one and only resort, which is a very, very lovely, I don't even want to say 5-star, I think it's beyond that, resorts. They're global, and this particular one was in the Maldives in an island called Riti Ra.
Oh, wow.
They weren't ready for us in the way of production. It was pretty, I'm sorry to say this if anyone's watching from there, but I think they're first to admit they were learning themselves about putting entertainment on the island. So it was a little bit basic in terms of sound and lighting. But the actual job of just flying there and just being on this amazing island, and it was like we were movie stars. It was amazing. It was probably got to be one of them. And actually, can I say another one? Just really quickly, just because of the surprise element. We at the very sort of first year that I started the It Girls, we were asked to go to Shanghai for a party, and it was for Virgin, and Richard Branson was there, and we had a party in Italy the week after that we needed to fly to, and he said, would you come to Australia with me to do a few more parties? I fly tomorrow. Oh, and we negotiated like there and there on the spot. He was like, how much do you want? You know, and we were like, oh my God, I was like, I've got to be in Italy next week.
You just like pluck a figure out of the sky, because what do you say to someone that's worth that amount of money? Like,
and I was 26 at the time. I was very young, very naive with everything. Anyway, he's an amazing, fair guy, and we ended up flying the next day, first class to Australia from Shanghai. And we did these amazing parties with him and just travelled around Australia, and we were his entertainment, and it was just so, we couldn't believe it was happening.
For real.
What was lovely about that actually is we got home, we thought we're not going to hear from him again, and he phoned us again to do Sam's 21st birthday, his son's 21st birthday. So that was nice, and he's always stayed in touch. And I asked him, we did a gig for him at the Roof Gardens a few years ago for one of his Virgin parties, and I said, oh, it's my 10th anniversary for the It Girls, and he was like, oh, and I said, would you mind doing a video message so I can play it on the night? He was like, no, of course not. I thought, oh, he probably won't. Anyway, I didn't have to prompt him. The next day I got an email from him saying, would love to do, congratulations on the 10th anniversary, thanks for a great show last night, love to do the video, let me know what you want me to say and I'll send it over. And sure enough, he did.
What a nice guy. I can imagine him to be like that though.
Yeah.
He's one of those, he's so like, he's loaded, he's minted, but he seems quite sort of approachable.
Oh yeah, definitely, and humble with it. Yeah,
that's it. So you've told us your favourite job. What's been your worst client? Have you got a worst client?
Well, it wasn't the client. Because some clients, like in every job, are easier than others, aren't they? It's just hard. It's just relationships. But we were doing, in 2017 we did a job, and the client was lovely, and it was hosted by, is it Ian Sterling, the voiceover guy for Love Island?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I don't watch it, so I'm not quite sure. Anyway, he was great. He was hosting the party. It was lovely. We did a party for them in London and then a party for them in Manchester. Now, the Manchester is where it went all wrong. It was going great, guns, until I got pulled over by one of the clients looking absolutely white as a ghost. And
Mm.
there'd been a few feminists in the audience that had been really offended by our show.
Oh my
And they
God.
took to Twitter, and loads of people that weren't even at the event joined in and started saying not very nice things about the girls and everything, without really knowing too much about us at all, because if they did, they'd know how much of women's women we are.
It's more empowering of women than anything else. It's not like you're, you know, not to put down anyone that works in the lap dance industry, but it's not like you're kind of grinding up on men. It's very classy from what I know of the girls.
Yeah, exactly. They were trying to get ahead. I think there was a few women that were trying to get ahead in this particular, in a marketing kind of world, digital marketing kind of world, and they just thought we were really inappropriate entertainment it is tricky for the client to put on the correct entertainment for a massive room of people. I mean, imagine just, they've not paid a ticket to go and see the It Girls.
Yeah.
Just like it's like not asking someone what they'd like for dinner and just putting something in front of them and they're like, I'm a vegetarian, you've just given me a burger.
Not everyone's gonna like it, that's the thing, isn't it?
Exactly. And I feel for my clients that have to have this huge choice of entertainment, and the choice is endless what you can book out there. And so you're so flattered when they've decided to go with you, and you have to really live up to it, and so everything needs to be covered. And we didn't see this coming, we really didn't, because I'm very careful not to be too sexy, because that's just the way I like it. It's fine if you want to be a little bit like cheeky and things, but I try to keep it all like it's a family audience kind of thing. And so anyway, these girls were really offended, and to cut a long story short, it blew up, and it ended up in page 2 of the Times, ended up as a discussion on Women's Hour and the right stuff. And I didn't come forward at the time because I just didn't feel like I had anything really to say, and I was very confused about what was happening, thinking, have we done something wrong, when in hindsight we've done nothing wrong. So yeah, I think, and with the Me Too movement, that halted our business for a little bit. We had to start introducing boys, which we've always offered, but people wanted them more than ever because they wanted to see an equality on stage there, boys and girls. Which really actually is just really nice to mix things up a bit. I'm not scared of change, and you have to move, things change and you have to adapt.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's just been a really refreshing change, adding we've been working with some fantastic guys called Those Two Guys, and they're just brilliant. They're really great, and it's been good to mix things up. So I have to thank them. Have to thank the feminists, but I'm not sure if they are feminists, because I think I'm a feminist and we have different views.
Absolutely. No, I agree. 2 more questions. Have you ever had to deal with a really nightmare dancer? How do you deal with that? You must have, in the time that you've had all these dancers come through are you quite...
Yeah.
Because you're quite, with Tracy, she's very smiley and very but I've learned that about you. She's all smiley and sweet, but I think underneath there's a real still iron woman under there when you're ready.
I know. I am sensitive too, a bit too much as well. But yeah, I mean, my other half reminded me what I said to him when I first met him about my profession. It's a bit of a joke about dancers, like, how do you make a dancer complain? Give him a job. But it's kind of it's an age-old thing, you know.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's a tricky profession because, you know, sometimes you get put in hotels that really aren't that acceptable. You know, they're not like I heard Nesh saying the other day, she was on your podcast, she was put in a hotel room with a glass door. She thought it was an office room. Kind of thing. What people think is acceptable in our profession, so it can be tricky, and you can get people complaining, and sometimes rightly so. You know, you agree with them, but maybe nothing can be done at that moment in time, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth. I've got to swallow it, kind of thing, and just think of the money. But yeah, there are times where I've just got to go to the client and go, this is not on. And times where I just have to say to the dancers, come on guys, we just got to get through this. I think there's just got to be respect. As long as we've got respect, then we're all good. we're all good. But
I think it's kind of the same with like most jobs, isn't it, and most work anyway. But I think when you're a dancer or a performer, you're expressing, and you're like, you take a lot of pride in your creativity. Do you know what I mean? And your worth. So it's kind of like,
your worth.
Actually, hang on a minute, like, I'm not going to stoop that low, but you feel like you've got a voice. And I think as well, as a dancer or a performer in general, you're quite a, you're a present person, you're outspoken, you can express yourself. So you've maybe got that confidence to say, well, hang on a minute, we only had five minutes break for 12 hours, or whatever it might be. Or but I think it's the same with any job. You're going to get people that aren't as strong, people that you might not get on with, or people that might not like the job, you might not like, it's just like you say, as long as you've got respect, I think you just have to work through it.
I think it's an industry though where you can easily be exploited, and I think people are so conscious of being exploited, because you hear such awful things that happen to act, with actors, the whole that creative industry, that people are so on their guard with it that they just jump at any little thing.
I think I think that's a real minority though.
Okay.
Of people that do that. I think but that's another debate, isn't it?
That is another debate.
It is. And I think this country as well, you go to America and even France in the cabaret world, and you're treated like, a doctor would be.
Yes.
Like, oh my goodness, you're a dancer, you're a professional dancer. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And when I was at the Lido, and you're treated like a movie star. In Britain, it's just not really recognised so much.
As much.
Yeah.
Right, 3 words to describe the It Girls. We'll leave it on that note. 3 words to describe the It Girls.
I think it would be professional, sparkling, and entertaining.
Lovely.
Love that. I love that. So you're going to stay for our debate, Tracy.
Yes.